This video is brought to you by Senica, celebrating a natural, beautiful you.
Hi, Ben.ar.dett here from Sénica. I am here with John Williams, sound engineer for Channel 4. We did a segment this morning where Sally Ann learned how to use a coffee scrub. We did an herbal tea for the tub, and we also talked about using vinegar. And after the segment, John came over and he was just like, oh my gosh, you know, what exactly do you have in this bouquet? Because I grow a lot of flowers and I wanted to know, you know, what smells so good. So
I was very curious. I was sitting in audio and mixing the show. I'm like, I walked in and I was curious about the different products that you had for healthcare. You know, being diabetic and knowing that you was talking about doing different things for foot care. You know, diabetic people are always trying to find the best medications herb-wise to take care of their feet, because taking care of feet is very important for diabetics. So as I'm walking in, I'm like, wow, your array smells fantastic. So it's like I got curious. I was like, what? Your arrangement with the different smells. I said, what do you have here?
Right, and so basically that's a really great question. All of the herbs that I was mentioning to John off camera, that all of the herbs in this bouquet can be used for cooking, and it can also be used on the body. And you can also infuse it as a tea. Rosemary is really good because one of the things, it's an antifungal, and you can smell that. It has a really nice herbal smell. That's a great tea, whether you're doing a full body soak or you just want to soak your hands or feet, which is important for diabetics. You always want to get the extra dead skin cells off. Right,
that's very important.
Right, and because what ends up happening is you go from just having dry skin to having dry scaly skin, and then that becomes an abscess, and then next thing you know, you're missing a finger or a foot, and that's not you know, good for anyone. Lavender is also calming and balancing.
Is it easy to grow?
Here in New Orleans, yes and no. It loves sandy soil. It's also, you can smell that as well. It's also a really great herb because even if you don't get a lot of flowers, you can use the entire herb.
I like the square branch.
And that is Lavandula angustifolia. It's a certain type of
Lavandula angustifolia.
Lavandula angustifolia.
Angustifolia.
Right, and so that's the scientific name for it. And you know that because of the square orientation.
Very unique.
Right, and you can use this.
Very nice smell.
It does have a really nice smell. You can even eat it too.
Come on, this.
Yeah, like I'm gonna just it tastes like lavender.
But it means I gotta try it since you're on camera.
Well, I guess you can.
So what if I fall straight down?
You have insurance? Okay, just don't faint. Wait till we shut this off.
You got me trying stuff and try it.
Right, and then the other thing there is lemongrass. As a diabetic, you really also want to minimize your intake of a lot of sugars and carbohydrates and so forth.
You want to limit your carbohydrates.
Right, and being in the South, sweet tea is like syrup. It's like honey, you know. And one of the things that you can do, a lot of people aren't aware, you can actually use things like rose to make
sweeten the tea.
Not to sweeten, but to give it flavor.
Give it an aroma.
Right, to give it a really nice flavor.
So what about the lemongrass? What that do?
You can use lemongrass for that. You can put this in your mouth too, but I'm not. This is kind of like grass, and I'll be the one to get a cut on my tongue and be like, ah. So I'm not gonna try. No, it's kind of like grass if you touch it. If you run your finger, when you
go down.
Right. So we're not going to do that one. So you can have your own version of sweet tea using a black tea, or you can use some fresh herbs and just add some lemon to it. For example, when I go to restaurants, I do a lot of lemon water. But when I'm at home, I'll go out on my balcony and get a couple sprigs of basil or whatever. I have a lot of it at that time.
So you go to a restaurant, you pack this in your purse?
No, I just ask them for the lemon. And you know, a lot of times they think I'm trying to make, I'm like, I'm not trying to make lemonade, this is tap water.
Well, I do that. A lot of times I ask for water. A lot of times I ask for water and I'll bring lemonade and I'll make lemonade.
You mean you bring sugar and make your own?
No, they have lemon. They have sugar at the table. Put a cup of Splenda.
Wait, but you bring your own sugar?
No, these have Splenda at the table.
But you bring your own lemon?
No, they had the restaurant always eat lemon water.
So what do you bring to make your own drink?
Nothing.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna this off. I'm gonna start bringing this now.
Well, you can do that too, and you can do like the little tea bowl.
Oh, really?
So that is hilarious. But let's get back on track. So there's lemongrass. We also have lavender. There's basil. We have 2 types of basil: the cinnamon basil here, and then the sweet leaf basil. And you know the difference between them because of the larger leaf. If you look at that.
Wow. Yeah.
You have
the texture too.
Right. The texture. These leaves are a little curlier. And so these are just really great ways. So on a hot summer day, like we have a heat wave advisory today.
Right.
This would be something perfect that you wake up in the morning, you infuse it, you put your ice in there, your lemon, minimal sugar if you need sugar, or Splenda, or whatever your choice is.
Right.
And you're good to go.
For being diabetic, I watch my sugar.
Right. So just lemon and
maple.
Herbs and water.
Exactly.
Or maple.
So the burning question is, I can cut a little bit of all of this, and if I want to do a steak, just put it all on top of it and have a good meal.
You could.
Right.
You could. That's really good. What I do, you know what? Thanksgiving and Christmas time, I usually do barbecue shrimp. You know, New Orleans style, not you know, the grill type barbecue shrimp. And I do. It's different from how most people do it because my friend Nyla taught me how to make it when I moved here.
Right.
And then I added my own twist to it. And so I still do the Italian season, the Worcestershire sauce. I can never say that right, so hopefully I just said it.
Pretty good.
You know, hopefully I keep close. But I do rosemary in there. I also have this curry plant on my balcony. I think I killed it because it was growing, and then the bottom was dark and the top was green. And I'm like, oh well, let me just clip the bottom and dig it back in the soil. And
no, that didn't work.
Yeah, I think I killed it. But I used to use curry when I had curry on in my garden.
Well, I do know the rosemary is good for salmon and steak.
Okay, yes.
The basil is good for like seafood pastas. And the lavender, since I'm tasting it now, I don't know what I'll put that. I'll stick with tea with that.
Right, you can do tea. There's actually, I think there's actually a place here in the quarter that does ice pops, I think. You know what ice pops are? That's what we call it back home. But they do ice pops, and it'd be like a cream base where you might have a lavender basil type mix.
Right.
And you just kind of freeze that up and eat it, and it's really cool.
Oh, great.
So you can do tea, you can...
Well, I've learned a lot. I'm glad I got
so
to talk to you and came out here.
Thanks for being on here, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Learn more about Senica by visiting us at www.senicanaturals.com. Thanks for watching.